Now, Garth, I want to ask you about the two by-election results in Melbourne. What's your take on it? It was certainly a bad night for the Greens, but also Labor.
Look, as a Queenslander, I'm pretty far removed. I've been wondering why Victorians vote so heavily towards Labor. First thing I'd say is it looks like the Green brand is now toxic across the country. We're seeing that in the behaviour of their federal colleagues, and that appears to be playing out at a state level too, and that's good. You know, it's the deployment of Greens policies that are hurting Australia from housing to our energy costs. This is what's hurting us. So it's great to see this happening. I hope that plays out further. I think their extreme position, the party, on a number of issues is coming back to bite them now. So some of the statements they've made that have got a lot of press and they've been very happy to get headlines, they're coming back to bite them. But the other point I think is worth making here is anyone who starts to look ahead at the coming federal election and wants to pick something out of this, it's really hard to knock Labor off. It's really hard to knock Labor off. A 10% swing and they're still in the game. We've got a huge challenge in front of us, and it's really important we continue to stand by our values, which is what the new Liberal leadership in Victoria is doing, providing a clear difference from Labor, holding some conservatism.
Well, Garth, speaking of values, just before we let you go, Anthony Albanese's clearly got to work out his, because he won't say whether or not he would deal with the Greens to form a minority government. We were talking before about the former Labor MP who stood as an independent in Prahran. He got about 13%, and 70% of people who voted for him directed their preferences not to the Labor Party, but to the Liberal Party. That would send a strong message to Anthony Albanese, would it not, that Labor-inclined voters will not tolerate preferences going to the Greens?
Look, I think we're starting to see a schism play out on the left of Australian politics. This idea of an extreme position, you know, it's almost the American style, focusing towards a very small minority at times and thinking that that's going to get you across the line. You've got to remember there's a lot of Labor voters who come from the Bob Hawke mould, who want good jobs, who love Australia, who think this is a great place and it's worth fighting for. There's a lot of Labor voters who feel that way, and when they look at the Labor government at the moment, they don't see it. They look at the Greens, they clearly don't see it, and hopefully they can look towards the coalition as a safe set of hands for people who are going to carry those values forward.
Garth Hamilton, appreciate your time tonight. Thanks for joining us.